Now, Prime Minister Boris Johnson says the UK has what he calls the fiscal firepower to help families struggling with the rising cost of living, but actually stopped short of announcing any new measures to deal with the crisis in the Queen's speech yesterday.
We're joined now by Sir Ed Davey, leader of the Liberal Democrats, who's in our Westminster studio this morning. Thank you very much for being with us today. I'll talk to you about the Queen's speech, if you don't mind, in a moment, but I know that you were watching Graham Satchell's interview with Deborah James just a few moments ago, and I suppose, like many of our viewers this morning, it's difficult to watch, but what strikes you is she's just an amazingly courageous woman.
Amazingly courageous. I lost my dad to cancer when I was 4, and then my mum became ill with cancer when I was 12, and I nursed her with my brother, and she died when I was 15, in her mid-40s. So watching that piece with Deborah, my heart goes out to her and her family. It's great that so many people are supporting her. Cancer hits so many people. It's not often talked about. We just need to do far more to help people and to battle this awful disease.
What's amazing about her is that in her weakness, she's given so much strength to other people and genuinely changed the conversation and changed lives.
Yeah, she's inspired people, and I'm sure there are many people out there who take some strength from that. I know when I was nursing my mum, she inspired me because she battled so hard. And when Deborah was talking about her children, I know that's what my mum was always worried about, because she was not going to see me grow up. And it's quite an emotional thing, inevitably. And I'm just grateful to her, what she's done. She's just had such strength, and she's used this terrible experience of her own to inspire people and help others, and that's fantastic.
Okay, well, you're now, the leader of a political party, and you were watching the Queen's speech yesterday. What did you make of the government's ambition and what they laid out yesterday?
I was actually very disappointed. The Prime Minister talked about providing help for families and for pensioners, but he just didn't. And that's a real problem. There are millions of families and pensioners who are really struggling already. They know it's going to get worse in the autumn when energy bills go up again. And the Prime Minister literally offered nothing yesterday. And he confused people, because at one stage he was sort of promising something. And then sources in the Treasury, number 10, said they didn't know what he was talking about. And that suggests a government that's fairly chaotic, doesn't appear to have a plan, which is even more worrying. People need a help. Liberal Democrats have argued for a tax cut, a VAT cut, which would give £600 to the average family. That's the sort of thing that the government ought to be doing. Instead, they're raising taxes, and I just don't get it.
Well, the Confederation of British Industry said that you said no ambition. They said that the ambition in the speech was encouraging for firms who want to grow and help the UK prosper. That seems to be the government's argument. Rather than direct help, it's about growing the economy and that then benefiting all of us.
We need to do both. We absolutely do need to grow the economy. At the moment, under the economic management of this government, our economy is tanking. The estimates we saw from the Bank of England showed that we'd be one of the slowest growing economies in the G7 over the next few years. So I'm really worried that the government really haven't got the policies to grow, and they haven't got the policies to help pensioners and families who are struggling with the cost of living. So I think the whole economic policy of this government needs to be changed. They're just getting it very badly wrong. And the chutzpah of the Prime Minister, where he thumps the dispatch box and brushes his hair and all that sort of drama, I'm afraid it's not good anymore. The joke's not there, Mr. Prime Minister. We need action to help people. We need action to help businesses. And this Conservative government seems bereft of ideas.
I, of course, saw the local election results last week, and you were saying that it's an indication that your party is back. How do you, as a leader, how do you as a party build on that and prove that that is the case, if it is to be the case, at a national level?
I think we have to come up with our positive ideas. I've come up with this idea that we should cut VAT because it would give a tax cut to people, it would help small business, particularly on the high streets, and it would actually reduce inflation straight away. So I think it's quite a good economic package, and we pay for it with a windfall tax on the oil and gas companies who are making these huge profits. So there's a constructive proposition, but we need to go further. We need to think about our small business in particular, who are really struggling. The government failed a number of self-employed people during the pandemic, and we need to make sure that those small businesses, those self-employed people who are the power of our economy, get the support they need.
Ed Davey, appreciate your time. Thank you very much for speaking to us this morning.